Thank you so much for your message. It meant a lot. I truly appreciate it. Continue to share your gifts with the world and shining your light bright. I am going to continue to push through and get through these jitters of the podcast. My first podcast, I got to publish that. I will take time and listen to yours and support you, and I truly appreciate it. Make sure you have a beautiful day, night, wherever you're located, and continue to be awesome and rock out. Thanks.
Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
Let me tell you a story. Now, if you've been following this podcast, you know that I am currently in Columbia, South Carolina, my hometown, and I came here on some tragic news that I got from my family, but I've been spending time with my folks and just enjoying my time while I'm here. Luckily, I work remotely, so I'm able to continue to put this content out to you who are listening, and I appreciate you for listening. But the other day I was walking Garner's Ferry Road here in Columbia, South Carolina, and I noticed a Domino's Pizza across the street from the nearby library where I would always go study. Now, this Domino's Pizza is just like any other, but there is one significant factor that makes it different than every other Domino's Pizza that I have seen. And that is the fact that years ago, in my teenage years, I applied at this Domino's Pizza. It's crazy. It's still standing. It's still there. Hasn't gone anywhere. Must be a testament to them being able to run the business effectively. But when I was applying as a teenager to Domino's Pizza, I remember being in the mode of procrastination, being in the mode of taking my time in the wrong ways, not taking my time, slowing down to speed up, so to speak, but taking my time as though I'll get to things when I get to things. Nothing was ever really pressing, nothing was pertinent, nothing was as important as I made it out to be, right? So I applied at this Domino's Pizza, and I remember the manager letting me know for this delivery job that I applied for, letting me know that for this interview, I needed to be there at this time, right? Say it was 12 o'clock, sharp. I needed to be there at 12 o'clock at noon. And I said, okay, I'll be there. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'll be there. And the day came for the interview, and I showed up a little bit earlier, but you know what? I was hungry. So I said, I could just wait for the interview, but there's food out here. Let me just grab something to eat real quick. Let me just grab a real quick bite to eat. And so I placed my hunger above the situation, and I went, grabbed a quick lunch, and sat in the parking lot eating this lunch, scarfing down this sandwich really quickly, right? I can remember it like it was yesterday. And as I scarfed down my lunch, I saw that the time was escaping me and that it was 5 past the interview. And I said, it's okay. He'll understand. I'll just, make up some excuse like usual, right? scarfed down my meal. Satisfied and full, I ran into the interview to Domino's Pizza. And the manager looked at me with his hands on the countertop, and he gave me a look. I can remember seeing him above the rim of his glasses, just watching me as I came inside. And he said, young man, what time is it? And I looked at the clock above me that was behind, and I said, oh, it's 10 minutes after. He said, what time did I tell you to be here? I said, 10 minutes ago. He said, don't come back till I call you. This man, he told me, don't come back till I call you. And can you guess what time that he called me? Can you guess when this manager at Domino's Pizza called me back? That's right, my friend. Never. He never called me again. Now I say this, not that I am, disappointed later in my later years that I never got that job at Domino's Pizza, but it was a lesson for me. It was a lesson in punctuality. It was a lesson in pertinence and prioritizing the things that are important in our lives, the things that are moving the needle forward, the things that we need to, have a little pressure on. Priorities. What are you placing above other things? Are you being on time for your life? Are you on time for your dream? Are you forcing yourself to be on time for the things that you value in your life and the people who are counting on you to be there when it matters most, especially if you made promises? Are you keeping your word? This was a lesson to me, letting me know that my excuses were not above the reality of the situation. Any reason that I had to give for being late was really just an excuse. There was no reason that he was going to accept for me being late in that moment. You never get a second chance at a first impression. And I never forgot this. Even though as years passed by, I continued to make mistakes. I continued to fail. I continued to fall on my face and learn many different lessons from my own experience. But I never forgot that lesson. That when I needed a job and I was thankful for the opportunity, I messed it up by not valuing it enough, by not placing enough importance that I would be punctual, that I would be on time for the thing that I needed in that moment. I pray that you learn from my mistake in whatever areas of your life that you can be more on time for. I pray and I encourage you to be on time. Make it a priority. You will thank yourself later on. In fact, the future you is already smiling at your present day decisions. When you make your life a priority, Thank you for listening, my friend, to Jerome Shaw on TOP. That is the Open Palm podcast here in sunny Columbia, South Carolina. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. I do pray that you did receive a special message from this today, letting you know to be on time for your life. Be on time for your dreams, your goals, aspirations, and ambitions. Be on time. Share this message with a like-minded individual like you who is learning and growing, becoming their greatest version as well. And really pay it forward, as I don't believe these messages are heard often enough. Many have asked how they can support the podcast. Well, you can definitely support it by becoming a supporter, opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw, and hitting that little support button is definitely appreciated. You can also become a patron by going to patreon.com/Jerome Shaw. And I thank you to my two newest patrons. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Get in touch with me. If you gain value from this and you would like to actually get in touch with me to talk to me on a one-on-one level, personally, get in my DMs on social media, any way that you can find me. I would love to hear your story, your message, just to have a conversation with you and share my life experiences to encourage you one-on-one. As always, my friend, have a blessed day or night, wherever you are. Be on time and take care. Hey there. Are you a podcaster yourself? Listening to my podcast? Well, first off, I just want to thank you for taking the time to stop by and caring enough to hear the messages that I continue to put out here on a daily basis. But I also want to let you know, if you are a podcaster, that I have something for you. I have created a service for you that I haven't really publicized yet on my podcast before now, but it is something that is special to podcasters. You may have noticed on a lot of my recent episodes, there will be a voice memo in the beginning from someone thanking me for leaving them a thoughtful and thorough review, or just really rating and reviewing their podcast. So click the link in the show notes of the description for this episode for more details. Thank you for being you. Continue to be awesome and have a wonderful day.